What does an operations officer do? An aviation operations officer is the professional responsible for planning, coordinating, and supervising each flight before, during, and after its execution. Their work is essential to ensure safety, efficiency, and compliance with the regulations governing aviation activities. They act as the link between the flight crew, the company, and ground services, working closely with the pilot in command. Flight planning. Before an aircraft takes off, the operations officer conducts detailed planning that includes preparing the flight plan, selecting the most appropriate route, and determining alternate airports in case of emergency. They also calculate the required fuel, considering trip fuel, mandatory reserves, and possible contingencies. This planning process helps anticipate risks and optimize aircraft performance. Weight and balance calculation. One of the most technical and important responsibilities is the weight and balance calculation. The operations officer must verify that the total aircraft weight, including passengers, baggage, cargo, and fuel, does not exceed the limits established by the manufacturer. Additionally, they must ensure that the center of gravity remains within the approved range. Incorrect weight distribution can affect aircraft stability, control, and performance, making this calculation essential for flight safety. Meteorological analysis. The operations officer analyzes weather conditions before and during the flight. They review reports such as METARs and TAFs, examine winds aloft, potential storms, turbulence, icing conditions, and weather at alternate airports. Based on this information, they advise the pilot in command so informed decisions can be made regarding route adjustments, altitude changes, or possible diversions, always prioritizing safety. Coordination with the pilot in command. The operations officer works in close collaboration with the pilot in command. Together, they review the flight dispatch, weather conditions, performance calculations, and any operational restrictions. Although the final decision always rests with the pilot, the operations officer shares responsibility in the planning phase and must provide accurate, updated, and reliable information. Regulatory compliance. Another key responsibility is ensuring that each operation complies with national and international aviation regulations, as well as the company's operations manual. This includes verifying aircraft limitations, crew flight and duty time regulations, required documentation, and safety management procedures. Compliance with these regulations protects the crew, passengers, and the organization. Resource and inventory management. The operations officer also supervises the use and control of operational resources. They coordinate fuel supply, verify that emergency equipment is complete and operational, ensure required onboard documentation is available, and manage inventories necessary for flight operations. In commercial operations, they may also coordinate catering services, ensuring quantities are appropriate according to the number of passengers and that they do not negatively impact weight limitations. Flight monitoring. Even after takeoff, the operations officer continues to monitor the flight's progress from the ground. They track weather updates, provide support in case of diversions, and serve as a communication link between the aircraft and the company. Conclusion. In summary, the aviation operations officer is a key figure in flight safety. Their role combines technical planning, meteorological analysis, weight and balance calculations, resource management, and regulatory compliance. Through constant coordination with the pilot in command and detailed supervision at every stage of the flight, they